Everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Tonight we're going to have some fun because I'm going to do a fun-shaped card. I'm going to make a square card tonight. Haven't made one of those in a while, and I'm kind of in the mood. And this one's going to be a little bit of a bigger square, and I'm going to be using the Good Life card kit. I'm going to be using those Wishful Florals, and I'm going to be creating a die-cut wreath. So this is a fun way to make use of your floral designs, something a little bit different. And also, when you use die cuts to create a wreath, you can get lots of depth and dimension out of those because you can pop things up, and it's really fun to do. So before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
It's the Crafter Dinner crowd. Hi, everybody.
How are
Tuesday
you?
night.
Hey, you and I kind of match. We coordinate.
How did we do that?
I don't know, but you've got a little bit of that orangey melon color in your...
Yeah, that's sweet mango, right?
Sort of, yeah. Pretty close.
All right.
Oh, how was your day?
Oh, my gosh. Let me think a second here. Yeah, running. I did quite a few miles up and down the hallways.
Well, that's good. I'm trying to get a little more exercise myself, so.
Yes, in and out, up and down. We got a lot going on here.
We do, absolutely. Square costs do cost a little more to mail, that's true, but you know, I figure when I look at what it took to actually make the card, another quarter isn't going to break me at that point, right?
Square is good.
Square's fun, yeah. And I hand deliver a lot of cards too. You make cards that you attach to gifts and stuff, so there's always room for a square card in your arsenal of cards. All right, well, Tom, do you happen to have a word of the day coming up later?
I have a word of the day.
Oh, awesome. We look forward to that so much. All right, everybody, well, let's get started right away. I am going to start with the card kit, and Let's see. And if you don't, if you don't like square cards, totally fine. You can make a 5x7 card and do a big wreath on it. That's totally fine too, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to be using the Wishful Florals here. That's this set right here. And I'm going to be using the coloring stencils that coordinate with that stamp set. And I thought I would break out a color combination that I haven't used in a very long time. So I got the orchids out. I haven't done the orchids in a while, and these orchids are so pretty. So I'm going to use the light orchid and the medium orchid. And I'm going to mix these colors with these greens, jelly bean green and fresh asparagus. So this is my color palette for tonight. I'm also going to be adding a little soft stone in there. Well, maybe not. Maybe I think I'm going to use Stormy Sky for my card base tonight, but we'll see how it all comes together. But the orchids are so beautiful and so vibrant, and I don't use them enough, so I'm kind of excited to do that tonight. All right, so let's get started with the Misty. I'm going to get a piece of Gina K Designs Layering Weight white cardstock. And I am going to stamp a couple of these images. Now, the images that I want to use from this set tonight, I'm definitely going to use the big wishing you greeting. And I'm going to use that word happiness, because I think this could be, a fun birthday card. It could be a fun wedding card. There's so many different ways that you can use a wreath kind of card. So I think if I use wishing you happiness, I'll keep this card for just the perfect moment. And then I'm going to use this flower right here. I'm going to use this set of leaves. That's the 3 leaves here. And then I'm going to use this smaller flower. The flower itself isn't really smaller, but it doesn't have the little buds on the side. So I'm going to be using these today. I'm going to stamp those. Now I'm going to stamp one set of these, and then I actually did make some of these ahead of time because you're going to need 3 of these, 3 of these, and 6 of these. So I'm going to do these, cut them out, and then I've already done a few ahead of time. All right, so I'm going to start with black onyx here. You know what? I do need my glasses, though. Can't see anything without my glasses when I'm trying to stamp.
If I had known that this theme today was going to be square, I might have ordered a fillet of square fish sandwich from McDonald's.
Fillet of square fish. That is what it looks like.
Yes, it is straight from the square fish of Madagascar.
Oh my gosh. Fillet of square fish. I know. I've never seen anywhere else where you get a square fish like you do at McDonald's. McDonald's is always interesting, isn't it? Okay, so when you're making yours, just stamp this same exact combination 3 times and then stamp 3 more of these leaves. Then we're going to stamp the wishing you. So I'll stamp that down here. And then we also want happiness. And welcome everyone. It is great to see all of you bouncing in. It's going to be a fun night tonight. Okay, we are in the dog days of summer here, aren't we? I think this is a big week for people to be busy doing summery things. We've had a lot of rain here in Wisconsin, and I know you guys have too because I've been following all the crazy weather, so hoping you guys are all doing okay. It's been kind of crazy here. We have like nice days, and then at nighttime the weather gets really crazy. All right, so I've got those stamped. I just love this greeting. This is one of those greetings that I'm never going to be able to put away. I feel like, you could even match this with different strip sentiments that you might be able to create from other stamp sets. Like, for example, if you have a stamp set that says, wishing you a happy birthday, you could always just cut off the "a happy birthday" and use it with this and have a strip sentiment that says a happy birthday, you know, a great retirement, all kinds of things that you can mix with this wishing you. Alrighty, so now it is time to color these. So I'm going to remove this from my Misty and get my Misty out of here. I think I've got enough going here to get started. Now I am going to dig out my ink stand, and then I am going to start with light orchid. So I actually have a light orchid brush here. I also have a dark orchid brush that I think I'm going to use for my medium. For the trio colors, I use them so often that I do have a couple extra blending brushes dedicated to those. You don't need to do that though. You can just wipe off the color and that will work too. Now we're going to avoid this whole section right here, and we're just going to be using these two areas. So we're going to start with this one, and I'm going to line that up. So there we go. That looks pretty good there. And I'm going to start with the light orchid. I love coloring with these coloring stencils. It really does make it easy. All right, so I'm just going to hold all of this down with my hand, but if you feel more comfortable, you could tape your cardstock down and you could tape your stencil down too, and that would work just great. So here we go with the light orchid. Such a vibrant, pretty color. And I'm using our small blending brushes, but you can also use our detail brushes for this. Now I've got that colored. Now I'm going to just stick with this color, and I'm going to color this one in down here. I figure, you know, why not do all the parts at the same time? And to line this up, there's this nice little notch right here on this flower, and that just goes right into that little notch right there. So once you get that in place, then you'll know that you're in the right orientation for this flower. Look for the little notches. Okay, looking good. All right, so now I'm going to move to my next color, which is going to be medium orchid. And I could use that same brush if I want, because it's always easier to go darker than it is to go from dark to light. And then I am going to, again, oh, this is the wrong stencil. Here we go. I need number 2 here. Again, I'm going to avoid all of this, and I'm going to be using this section over here. So let's see. Stencil 2. There we go. And just bump that into that spot. And then, oh, look at how vibrant that color is. Isn't that beautiful? And don't worry if you go outside the stencil. It's not a big deal if you get it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Those colors. Love, love, love. All right, and then we'll do this one, and then we'll be done with the orchids. Oh, that's pretty. These are vibrant, vibrant colors. Now we're going to work on the greens. So we need layer 3 and 4 for the greens. Next, I'm going to do layer 3. And again, I'm kind of avoiding this whole section over here, just kind of sticking in here. And then I'm going to be using this one too for the trio of leaves. Yes, I need to use these orchids more. All right, so we're going to start with this one. This is pretty easy to line up too. Once we get that in place, it's okay if it overlaps a little bit. You could see that overlapping a little. That's totally fine. You're not even going to see that. And I'm starting with jelly bean. I'm going to get my jelly bean in there. There we go. And now I'm going to do this one, which is right down here. And this, locks in that way. So you're doing the bottom of this leaf first with layer 1. Okay, and now we're going to go to this leaf here, and I'm going to just turn it around and line it up. There we go. And then color all of this in. Okay. So now it's time to add the darker color, the darker green, and that is going to be fresh asparagus. And I'm going to use this little detail brush for this. These are really tiny, these little parts here. Plus, I already had fresh asparagus on this blending brush. So once again, kind of avoiding over here and just using this part right here, just on the end. Over here. And then we're getting that darker green in there. See how that fills that in so nicely. And then this one the same way. Just pop that on there. And then we're finishing it off up here with this trio of leaves. Okay, there we go. So now we are ready to die cut all of this. And if anybody has any questions about what I'm doing tonight, if you put the word question first, it's a little easier for Tom to see. And if it's about tonight's card or any question about colors and things that I'm using, Tom will do his best to shout it out. The comments go by really quickly because we are triple streaming on Facebook and Twitch as well as YouTube. So comments go by a lot faster than they do where you're watching. So sometimes we miss a few. We can't always get to everybody. And we don't always answer questions that are, you know, things that we just don't know, like when things are going to be back in stock. Did I miss something on the flower? Somebody's saying I missed something. Right tip of the larger flower. Right tip. Well, it's kind of a little lighter up there, but I think it's going to be okay. I think. We'll look at it and see. Okay, so I'm going to be using my magnetic platform, and I am using the C plate. You never want to cut into M. And then when you put that C plate onto this magnet, it grips it down. And then that makes it very easy to die cut. Now, you want to have your machine set on die cut up here. And then you want to have it... Tom, can you get rid of me for a second? You want to have it set to die cut up here. And then you want to have it set right at 12 o'clock. That's the best way to start. If you need to tighten it, you always can. But the looser you have your machine, the less apt the plates are to warp. Now, these plates don't really warp. You may get a little curling around the side, like a little bit of a lift on the side because you're doing all of your die cutting here, but that's not going to affect any of your die cutting at all.
Brenda wants to know, why is a square card more to mail?
That's a great question. I don't know if you can't put them through the machines at the post office, so they have to hand cancel them. I'm not 100% sure the answer to that question, but I just know that they are. And there are like a special stamp that you can get that I put on my bigger cards and my square cards, and they're like hand cancel stamps. So you can get a sheet of them, and then you don't have to worry about taking them to the post office. You could just put that hand-canceled stamp on there. And it's, I don't know, it was like 21 cents more or something when I bought them. So I'm going to cut these 3 flowers out first. I don't really worry too much about, you know, 25 cents when it comes to mailing a card. Because honestly, you know, if you think about what you have invested in card making, that little bit of extra isn't really going to break the bank, you know, compared to all the supplies it took to make the card. All right, so there's one flower. Okay, there's another one. And my final one here. There we go. So cute. So let's cut these greetings out. I mean, it's really up to you. You don't have to make a square card. You can also, if the square card is small enough, you can put it in a 5x7 envelope, and I believe that there is an extra postage required for those. You would have to go on the post office website and get all the measurements and stuff, but, you know, again, I get a lot of pleasure out of mailing cards to people, and it doesn't bother me too much if it's a tiny bit more to mail a square one.
Do you know if the kits are sold out?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't know. Might be. I know they were getting low last, right before the weekend. They were getting pretty low. So it'd be good to check. They'll be in the What's New category. It's usually like the first product. We are looking into getting the C plate made separately. We're hoping to be able to do that. But they're going to have lots of cuts in them, but that's okay. That won't affect anything. If you have cuts in your plates, that's totally fine. It doesn't affect the way they work. I mean, my plates are pretty chewed up. And you can see that it's still very flat, but it might have a little curling here or there around the corners, but that won't affect the way it works. Okay, so for my square card today, I am actually going to use Master Layouts 3, which is a very small square compared to the size of the card that I'm going to make, but that's okay because I'm going to just have a nice big fat border. So Master Layouts 3 was designed to work with the original Wreath Builder, and it also works with the Mini Wreath Builder. It's got the 3 3/4 inch square set that gives you the square and the matte layer. It's got the 4-inch square and matte layer, and then it's got the tiny square and matte layer that fits in the Mini Wreath Builder template. So that's kind of fun if you like wreath building.
Joan would like to know, do we have any videos using the neon colors?
Oh, so many videos using the neon colors. Just go to my channel and type in Electropop ink, and lots of videos will come up. Tons of videos. Okay, so I am going to cut this out with the 4-inch stitched square. Might tighten it just a little bit. And if you ever have trouble getting your plates to feed through the machine, it's just because you have the machine set way too tight. So back up a little bit on it, loosen it up. You don't need the machine to be super tight, but if you find, like, let's say I cut that and it didn't cut all the way, then you can turn it up just a little bit. Okay. Now I have that, and then I am going to get a black panel, black piece of cardstock, and I'm going to cut the plain die out of that. I'm going to turn it a little bit because it does go through a little bit easier on an angle. You know, some cardstock is thicker, so you just want to make sure that, you know, you're not forcing it through, and you don't have to over tighten it. Because tightening the plate will ultimately warp the plate. Tightening the machine will warp the plate a little bit if you do it too much over time. So if you don't need to have it that tight, like basic shapes like these flowers and stuff, you really don't need to have it very tight at all. It can be just at that 12 o'clock. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you, Marcia. The kit is not sold out, Tom. Alrighty, so I'm going to get this out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to layer these two panels together. This is going to be my, my main panel that I'm going to put my wreath on. See, just getting rid of any little shreds around the outside. You know, sometimes when you've used the dies so much, you can get little shreds. That's all right. They just come right off. There we go.
Is it minus or plus to tighten?
Plus. You want to turn it clockwise. So you want to turn it like toward yourself to make it tighter. And you want to turn it away from yourself to make it looser. Just zooming in a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to layer these two together. I know Master Layouts 3 is so fun.
And what is the benefit of the magnetic plate?
You don't need to tape your dies down. It holds everything down. So the dies are metal, so when you lay them on there, normally I was taping my dies so that they wouldn't shift when they go through the machine. I was using Masking Magic. You can still do that, but if you have the magnetic plate, you don't need to do that. Okay, so I've got these 3 images here, and let me dig out some of my other images that I had cut earlier and colored. So let me grab all of those. There's my happiness and my wishing you.
Do you know if any of the pockets, storage pockets, will fit the stencil builders?
No, not at this time. We are looking into possibly getting some that will, but we don't have any at this time. Okay, so we have 4, 5, 6. So we needed 6 of these leaves. We needed 3 of these. And we needed 3. Well, why do I have 4? I guess I don't need 4. I'll throw one away. I won't throw it away. I'll just save it for something else. So this is what you're going to need to create your design. Okay. So let's see here. Again, we don't really have much information about when things are coming back in stock. That is one thing that we just don't have information during our lives for. Customer service doesn't really have information either. They can only just tell you if something has been ordered. But I can tell you that when something goes out of stock, we order it right away. So, you know, that is the answer. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of connect these flowers so that they look the same. So I want to kind of tuck this one behind here like that, because I want to kind of hide the stem. So you can kind of figure out a way that you can do that. And you can do it any way you want. You can always trim the stem, but I think that would be really pretty like that. So once you figure out how you want to lay them together, I would suggest taking a little tape and then getting them in that position that you want them, and then tape them together, kind of like that. I think that would be good. And then once you figure out how you want it, make sure that they all kind of do the same thing. So I'm going to do these exactly the same way, like that. So I'm going to put a little tape on here. You can see I had tested some colored pencils on the back of this one in another video, but nobody's going to see that. So you see how I'm just making them look the same, but I'm like fattening them up a little bit by having 2 of them. And if we don't like them, we can always like move them a little bit and, you know, change the way that they're layered together. But I think that's pretty good. I think that's going to look good. So like this is going to go here. And then we've got to do these. So for these, I think I'll do something like this. And so that will kind of go in like that. I think that's going to be good. So I want to have this leaf sticking out here. So I think I'll tape this leaf to that leaf.
Question Donna wants to know, will you be using the stencil builders in a video soon?
I have a video planned with Jennifer McGuire, so we are working on a date for that, and I'm going to be holding off until we do our video together. We're going to do a tag team video on that. Okay, so I think that's going to look good. So then I want to do the rest of these this way. So you see I'm just building these together to make them look a little bit more like fluffy. Okay. So there's a second one. And then I think I have an extra leaf here too. So I have enough to make something else later with the rest of those. And then I'll do this one like that. Okay. So now let's see how we can take these that we just created and make a wreath. So I want to kind of tuck. All right, I have these smaller ones here and these bigger ones here. The bigger ones have the buds and the smaller ones don't. So I'm going to alternate. And I'm going to tuck behind like that, behind like that. So they're going to kind of chase each other around in a circle. Let's see how this all comes together. I like this. This is going to be really pretty. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's so fun. And then we can spread it out a little bit. You know, we can make it go outside of the box because we're going to have a larger card base. So once we figure out how we want it, then we can kind of finagle it a little bit so it's a little bit bigger. But isn't that just such a pretty wreath? Okay, now I'm going to put this aside here because I'm going to get a piece of cardstock. And I'm going to show you the size that I'm going to cut it. So I do need my bigger paper cutter here. And I'm going to use a piece of, this is Stormy Sky. So I'm going to cut this, okay, so this piece of cardstock, it's the same color as this, so it's really hard to see, but this piece of cardstock measures 8.5 by 11. I'm going to turn it so the 8.5 inch mark, inch side is up at the top, and I'm going to cut that, sorry, I'm losing my hair, I'm going to cut that at the 5.5 inch mark. Because 5.5 plus 5.5 equals 11, which is how long this cardstock is. And this is going to end up being a 5.5 inch square card. So let me find my score buddy. Here it is. And I'm going to score this at 5.5 inches. Okay. And we need to really press that score line down so it's nice and flat. So now we've got a 5.5 inch square card. All right. Now I'm going to put this here because this is all kind of the same color and that helps separate it a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Now we can go ahead and we're going to just take those off. And we're going to put this piece of cardstock here in the middle. You see we have a nice big fat frame. But we are going to extend these flowers outside of this frame. So parts of it are going to get very close to the edge, like that. Okay. Give it a little extra there. and get that right in the middle. All right, looking good. Okay, so if you want to, you can add a little bit of a grounding font. I tried it a little earlier. I was playing with a layout, and normally I don't play in advance, but I was a little concerned about this because I wanted to make sure I had the right ones. And I had used this stencil, which is the Harvest Flourish. But after I made it, I thought it looked too busy with all of these little pieces of die cuts. I felt like having it plain in the middle really worked better. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to lay this out again, and then we're going to go back and we're going to pop these up in a circular pattern. So it is going to be a little tricky, but I think I can do it. And I think it'll be pretty easy. And you can see now, we're just making sure that the stems are hidden the best that we can. I'm not trimming them down. I'm just tucking them in. And remember, we're alternating the ones with the buds and then the ones without the buds. Like that. And then this one up here. So now that looks pretty good, but now I can kind of like move them around to exactly where I want them so that they look evenly spaced. I think that looks pretty good though, actually. That looks pretty even. You know, if you don't like the angle that they're at, you can tilt them a little bit, but I think that's fun, and it's loose. And when I say it's loose, it's like it's not so perfect. And I know some people say, oh, I like my wreaths to be absolutely perfect. And some people say, I kind of like that loose look. So if you like a more loose look, you might really like this design. Okay, now I'm going to find my tweezers, and then I'm going to use some foam squares for this. So I'm going to start with the one up here at the top. And I'm going to put some foam squares back here. Oh no, people are having storms? I'm sorry. We've had enough storms, haven't we, by now? Getting kind of sick of the storms. Get one there. And maybe one up here. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have room. Now, if we end up not having room to slip the stem under, I'm not worried about it. I'll just trim the stem off. We don't need it. It's tucked under there. It's hiding. But when we have our layout like this, it does really help. And I'm going to just, before I put this down, I'm going to just move this one out of the way. There we go. Okay, that first one, I'm going to move it down just a little bit. Just tilt it this way a little bit. There we go. Okay. So there we go. There's our first one. Now I'm going to put some foam squares on the back of this one. And I don't need a ton. I just want to, get them lifted up. I'm not putting any here on this part because I want that to slide under there, and so it's okay if it doesn't slide. I can just chop it off. Okay, so yep, that's going to slide just fine. So I'm going to put that there. Now we're going to do our next one. And I'm not pressing down super hard on them because if I have to pick it up, I don't want to tear the paper. So I'm not sticking it down too tight. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. And it is great to have everybody here. Welcome, everybody. It is great to see you this evening. We're so grateful that you joined us. All right, so we'll get this one right about here. And again, I'm just a light touch. Once I know that it's all looking pretty even and how I want it, then I'll put a little more pressure on it. Just going to do 3 on this one. Yeah, press and seal works too. You can definitely use press and seal and just kind of, you know, have that over the whole thing. I'm going to trim this one down because I put a foam square in a weird spot. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit. And that's going to help me tuck it in there, kind of where I want it. There we go. Okay, this one's going to come up here. This one over here. Let's get that one. I think I'm going to move this one out just a little bit, which is going to be fine because I've got room for it, and turn it just a hair. That'll be good. Okay. I kind of like the thrill of just putting them in here and seeing what happens. Okay, so people are asking, Tom, they're asking for a word of the day. So while I'm working on this, would you like to do a word of the day?
Word of the day. Okay. So we were talking about fillet of square fish sandwich earlier.
Yes. Oh, no. You're following up on that?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the theme. What is your sometimes you have to just have junk food, right?
Yes.
You've had one of those days. We all have. What's your favorite junk food?
My favorite junk food?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know if it's junk food, but I can never say no to pizza.
Well, yeah. Pizza's probably one of the better junk foods, but probably goes in there. I guess depends.
I like lime chips, too.
Yeah. So we've all been there when you just got to have, you've had such a day that you got to have some junk food. You got to go there. And if that's the case, then you have, no other way to say it. You happen to have a hearty crapatite.
I love that.
A hearty crapatite.
Oh my gosh. That's great. I love it.
Back to the dead space.
Oh man, that is very funny. All right, I think this looks good. I like it's kind of loose. I think it's looking good. Oh, somebody just said French fries. And yes, I love French fries. I might move this one a little bit more. I think I've already moved this one twice. Yeah, press and seal definitely does work. Maybe I should use that next time. You just take your press and seal and slap it on top. I think also depending on... No, that looks really good though. I like it. I think it's really pretty. This one could probably be turned in a little more. Should I give that a try and see if I could turn this one in just a little bit more? Why not? It's really tight. Nah, leave it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that right there. Now we're going to put our greeting in here. So we're going to put wishing you, and I am going to pop this all up, and then happiness right down here, but it's all going to be raised up. So I do like the looseness of this. Okay, people are saying that they like it. They think it looks good, so I'm going with it. Oh, I forgot all about French fries. People are mentioning French fries, and that is a true love of mine for sure.
Looks like we're stopping on the way home.
Yeah. Get a fillet of square fish and some fries. I am trying to eat better, but I have no willpower some days.
Oh, you're one of the best eaters. Once in a while is fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. I have to be a little careful because of my diabetes, but once in a while it is fun. Okay, I think that's going to give me the lift I want, and it's... Should I put one over here too, just to be safe? I think I will. I have these like really skinny ones.
Ice cream is my problem.
Oh yeah, you're an ice cream lover, aren't you?
If I go off the rails, there's usually ice cream involved.
I feel like there are just certain things too that are just fun to eat while you're crafting, like M&Ms. They're fun because they melt in your mouth, not in your hands. Remember that commercial? The candy that melts in your mouth, not in your hands. Okay. So let's see if we can line this up nicely. I think that will look pretty good right there. Yeah, that looks good. I don't know that I need all of this foam square up here. So I think I might pull that off. Can I pull it off? Actually, it doesn't look too bad.
Paula, my favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate peanut butter.
Chocolate peanut butter, that's right. And do you know what mine is, Tom?
Butter pecan.
Yes, butter pecan. I try to, like, just like your peanut butter, I mean, I try to say to myself, if there's nuts in there, it's like I'm getting some of my protein that I need for the day. So it makes it healthier, right? Anybody want to go with that for me there? I pushed that foam square off of there. So let's see this now. I want to put happiness here. So I'm just going to put them over here. I'm not going to put it there. I'll just put a tiny bit of tape right there.
So Gina, we grew up in candy culture.
We did.
The golden age of candy. What was your least favorite candy? You remember?
Well, I'm not a big fan of malt balls. I don't like malted candy.
See, but that has chocolate on it, so, oh well.
Am I wrong?
How about jujubes?
I like jujubes.
Oh, you would?
I do, and I like dots. My dad's favorite was dots. Remember dots?
Dots and jujubes.
They were kind of like softer.
No, they ended up as projectiles.
Oh, you don't like those?
No.
You probably... Did you like sweet tarts?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I'm trying to decide, do I want to go with some silver metallic pearls, which I think, oh yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Also, sequins would be pretty in there. What do you like better, Tom? Sequins or pearls?
Oh my.
Should I go with sequins? I'll go with sequins. There's so many more sizes of sequins. So here we go. You know me, I gotta dump them out. People were laughing at me that I dumped them out and then I still pick from inside the thing. And I know I do that, but sometimes I have to dump them out so that I can see the other ones that are in there.
Glad I could help out there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Quite often I ask Tom what he wants and then I don't even wait for his answer. Is that kind of a thing with us, hun? Sorry. All right, I'm going to put one up here, one down here, one in here, and then let's see, how about up here, over here.
Joanne wants to know, is that sentiment from the kit?
It is. It's from the actual stamp set that I'm using. Let me try that first and see how this looks. So I rarely use the really big sequins, but I feel like on this card I can because it's a big card. So I'll use a medium one there. Maybe I'll use another big one down here.
Kay likes licorice. I was never a fan.
Licorice?
Yeah.
It depends. Red licorice is awesome. I love red licorice. And it's funny because, like, in the Italian culture, we have a cookie that has a licorice taste to it that people really like. It's like anisette. I mean, it can be good, but it definitely tastes like licorice. And some people who don't like licorice still like those cookies.
And that's the Gina K Designs jewel picker, right?
Yes, this is the pick and stick tool.
Pick and stick.
Pick and stick. I'm going to add some more like tiny ones in here, because there's a lot of little tinies that I think would be cute in here.
Kathy, I do not know when layering white will be back. Do you, Gina?
Oh gosh, probably tomorrow. It shouldn't really be out of stock. So I know we have it. They probably just don't have it cut. So now that you said that it was out of stock, I will let them know, and we will get that cut and get that back in stock tomorrow. I don't have enough glue there. Let's do one more. Okay, that looks pretty good. So do I need one down here because I have them up here, or is that pretty good? I think that is good. I like it. I like the way it looks.
Snickers, yes. Snickers is survival food.
Snickers is good, yeah. Kit Kat. Love a Kit Kat. Can always eat a Kit Kat. Peanut butter cups. Love them. I am so hungry right now, guys. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for this conversation.
Sorry.
Okay, now I wanted to show you something else too. So we have this this beautiful card, and you might be thinking, okay, a 5.5 by 5.5 card. What envelope should I put that in? We actually have envelopes that work really well for this. These are our square envelopes, and they are just a little bit bigger. So they're like 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and this card will fit in there really nicely. So let me just make sure I don't know if all my sequins are dry, so this might not be a good idea, but you can see that that is the perfect size envelope for that. So we've got about 10 minutes left. So how about if I decorate this envelope to match? That's what I'm going to do. We've got 10 minutes, not plenty of time. So I'm going to decorate the front of this envelope. So normally it's going to fold there, right? So what I'm going to do is my address would go there, my return address. So I'm going to do something down here in the corner. I'm going to stamp this flower right on there. Why not? Yes, extra postage, that's right, for square cards, but that's okay. Doesn't bother me.
Susan wants to know, question, do you stamp sentiments inside your cards?
Sometimes I do. And sometimes I just handwrite a sentiment. It really depends on how I'm feeling. But I have all of Debbie's stamp sets, all of her inside out stamp sets that have all the inside. They're called On the Inside. If you look and you type in On the Inside, Debbie has a whole series of On the Inside stamps. And so, yeah, I would just put a piece of white cardstock inside, a little bit smaller than the card base, and stamp that. Stamp the greeting on there. All right, let's stamp it again. Let's get that pressed down in there. Okay, we'll do it one more time. I just grabbed one of these. I don't know which side it is, the left or right. I mean, whether it's going to use the stencil or the stencil flipped over. So we'll see in just a minute. Yeah, her inside greetings are great, and they're just nice. She's got like an all occasion one, and then she's got Christmas, and so it's nice if you want a variety of inside greetings. And we have other inside greeting sets too. We have lots of options actually. So take a look at our website and you'll find some good inside greeting ones. And I've done a few lives where I've decorated the inside of the cards. So you can check those out too. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna make this match, and I think it's gonna be really pretty. So let me clean up this stencil. Now, I was telling you guys earlier in another video that I like to use rubbing alcohol to clean my stencils. You don't have to do that. Where's my paper towels? Oh, give me a sec. I gotta grab them. Okay. You don't have to do this. I like to do it because whenever I am live, I don't have to worry about the stencil staying wet very long because rubbing alcohol evaporates really quickly. So I like using it for that. But if you, you could just use regular soap and water, just water rinse them. And if they're stained, you can also use the Gina K Designs stamp cleaner on them and then just wash them after that, because that can leave a little bit of an oily residue on your stencils. But you can see I'm wiping front and back.
So Paula wants to know, do many of your staff actually enjoy crafting as a hobby, and do they watch your lives?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. Some of them watch them. Some of them don't. Some are not crafters at all. Others are avid crafters. So we've got a little bit of everything at work. A lot of people, you know, come here and they have no idea that this even exists. So, okay. So let's take a look here at this and see. All right, so I'm going to have to flip this over. So I'm going to be using the back side of these stencils because this flower design comes in a right and a left so that they can face each other. And for one version, you stamp them, you stencil them with the right side up, and the other one you flip it over. So I think we're going to do this. Now I do want to be careful not to go outside. Wait a minute here. Yeah, this is what I want to use. I do want to be very careful not to go outside of the lines here because I don't want to mess up my beautiful envelope. So we're going to start with that light orchid. And if you worry about it bleeding through, you can just slip a piece of square cardstock in there. But I think we're going to be okay. Hopefully. Hopefully. And if you are worried about getting it on the outside, you could take a Post-it note like this and one like this, just to be extra, extra safe that you don't go outside. But you don't want to stick it to the thing unless it's in the right spot. Okay. There we go. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We'll start with the light. Love the light. You can also tape your envelope down with a little bit of masking magic to keep it from shifting too, if you're worried about that. But so far, it's looking good.
So Marianne can use hand sanitizer on stencils, right?
Sure. Yeah, hand sanitizer is just basically alcohol in gel form, so that's not a problem. Okay, now we're going to do layer 2. We want to make sure it's backwards. There we go. And once again, I'm going with the Post-it notes because I don't trust myself. We're going to do medium orchid. We need Gina K sticky notes. We could do that. That's pretty easy to do. Masking magic works really good too. Just do that. And then medium. Oh, I love these orchids together. They're so pretty. And the dark orchid is gorgeous too. Great for like down around the base of the flower in the center if you want to deepen it up a little bit. Okay. There we go. And now we're going to move into the greens, get our greens, layer 3.
What color is that card base?
The card base is Stormy Sky. It's just perfect for around here lately. Again, I just don't trust myself. Let me get my ink pad ready, my fresh asparagus, or my jelly bean green ink pad ready. I hear stuff going on outside here now. That's not storms, is it? It sounds like a truck going by. You can reuse your Post-it notes. I'm just taking new ones because they're easy access right there. So this is jelly bean. Using that same color combination. I want to be careful over here not to go off the envelope.
I have not tried toasted coconut ice cream. Sounds interesting.
Sounds good. And I'm not even a coconut fan, but there's certain things that I like a coconutty flavor. As long as it doesn't have chunks of coconut, I would try it. Okay, and then we'll do our very last layer upside down. So let's find the name. There it is. And then we will pop that into place. There we go. It just like, it zooms in, it centers in, and you can see it. And again, we're going to use this fresh asparagus for this. I don't even think I need Post-it notes. When you use these detail brushes, it's a little easier because you're just kind of going in a little circle right over the area. Looking good. There we go. Now, you have to look and see, did it bleed through? Nope. That's just a goober. It did not bleed through. So, now we've got that beautiful coordinated envelope. And I think that's so nice. It just makes it stand out in the mail from all the icky bills and stuff like that, right? Isn't that more fun than a bill? Pretty envelope like that. So there we go. There's our finished card and envelope. So what do you guys think? Do you like this idea of just building a wreath using die cuts and also making that coordinating envelope? I think that's so much fun. What do you think, Tom?
That's quite stunning.
Yeah?
Yeah, bold.
Yeah, I like the orchids. We haven't used the orchids in a while, so it's fun to do that. All right, everyone. Well, this was so much fun. And hey, if you liked tonight's video, I would love it if you would give the video a thumbs up. And there's a subscription button. You can hit the little subscription button, and then there'll be a little drop down, and you can hit all notifications. And this way, you'll never miss another video. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. I hope you had fun too. We have a winner. We're going to do a winner for a $15 gift card tonight. Can't leave without doing that. And everybody who is in the chat, we've got all your chat from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You're all entered to win. And Tom, I think you've already done the work over there, haven't you?
And the winner is...
That's a yes.
Sharon Privaloff.
Yay!
Sharon!
Yay, Sharon, congratulations. You're the winner. You get a Gina K Designs $15 gift card. All you have to do is send your name and email address over to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that emailed over to you. All right, everybody. Now on Thursday, Tom has to be out of the office. So we're not going to be able to go live, but we will have a premiere and I will be there chatting in the comments. Tom might be able to get away and chat in the comments. We'll have to see. And I think you're really going to like this video coming up. It has a little something to do with fruit salad. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll be back again next Tuesday with another Stampin' Chat Live. Until then, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.